Hi, friends. I was thinking about the story that we talked about in church on Sunday about Mary and Martha. We know that Martha was the sister who was distracted, who did not sit down to listen to learn from Jesus. And I think so many of us can relate to Martha, to having all of these distractions around us. I know that both youth and adults feel distracted with their phones, with social media, with friends, sports, activities, kids, parents, so many things to distract us from what we need to be focusing on, what we need to be doing. So part of the things that I work on with youth is teaching them and showing them different spiritual practices. That trying to connect with our faith, trying to connect with God does not mean sitting down and praying before meals and at bedtime. I mean, those things can happen, but there are so many other ways. And so we've done all kinds of different meditating, different ways to find ways to be still. And one of the things that we do is centering prayer. Now, when I first learned about centering prayer, the image that I was given is that you are in a boat on calm, still waters, and you gently slip out of that boat under the surface of the water where there is nothing but quiet stillness, and there you float. See, the goal is to keep yourself open, but to keep the thoughts out of your mind, to just sit and be. So in centering prayer, you find a place to sit where it is comfortable. You set a timer for 20 minutes. You can use a centering prayer app or the timer that just has a gentle vibration at the end of it. And you find yourself just being open and still. Now, what is going to happen is thoughts are going to come into your brain of, I need to remember to get that from the store. Oh, later today, I need to do, and that is okay. When those thoughts come into your brain, when you come back up to the surface of that water, back up into the boat, you just need to, again, slip out of the boat, let it go, and just go back into that open, still being without those thoughts. Now, it is not easy to do. 20 minutes, they say, is your goal. I find we need to start with something much shorter than that. And every time I do it with youth, no matter where we start, they always say, gosh, that felt so long. And I know I've told this story before, but when we would teach it with the children, when the pastor did it first time with our younger children, and they did it for 1 minute. And afterward, I asked Adrian, what did you do this morning at church? And she said, well, they put me in timeout. Okay, so it's certainly a practice that we need to work on. But finding ourselves to be still, to remove those distractions, that we have this word, this sacred word in centering prayer. It's not a mantra that we're repeating over and over again, but it's just this gentle word that when we find ourselves back at the surface, when we find thoughts slipping into our brain, that we can just say this sacred word and release ourselves back down into the water. You might need to try different words to see what works for you. And again, trying different times, trying different ways to sit, but being able to remove those distractions. And again, it's called a spiritual practice for a reason. It's a practice. It's something that we can keep working on. You might want to try it this week. There's certainly lots of resources about centering prayer out there, so you can find something to read more about it. But maybe try it this week. Try to remove some of those distractions, because heaven knows there's plenty of them out there. Have a great week, friends.